The United Nations currently has 193 member states, but as we scale up to include FIFA's member associations, that number hits 211. This organization has a reach that spans nearly every corner of the globe, managed through a highly polished corporate machine. But underneath that modern surface, the foundation of the sport was built on a century of improvised, often bizarre rules. Before the penalty shootout was adopted, knockout games that remained level after extra time were decided by nothing more than blind luck. During the 1968 European Championship semifinal, Italy and the Soviet Union played to a scoreless draw. To decide who went to the final, the referee flipped a coin in the dressing room. Italy called it correctly and advanced. In a 1954 World Cup qualifier, Spain and Turkey were tied after 3 matches. Organizers blindfolded a 14-year-old boy and had him draw a name from a hat. He picked Turkey, and Spain was sent home. These arbitrary tiebreakers show that for decades, the world's biggest sport lacked a standardized way to end a game, forcing officials to make up solutions as they went along. Look at this referee frantically gesturing between players. As soccer grew internationally, language barriers made it nearly impossible for officials to communicate with players from different countries, often leading to confusion and on-field brawls. English referee Ken Aston spent years looking for a way to signal a warning or an ejection that every player could understand, regardless of their native tongue. In 1966, while stopped at a traffic light, Aston realized the universal logic of red and yellow signals could be applied to the pitch. This iconic disciplinary system was a practical reaction to the language gaps that were turning international matches into riots. Even after the laws of the game were finalized, the authority of the referee remained susceptible to pressure from the crowd. During a 1982 World Cup match, the Kuwaiti team stopped defending because they thought they heard a whistle from the stands. France took advantage of the pause and scored an easy goal. The president of the Kuwait Football Association, Sheikh Fahad, marched onto the field from his seat in the stands. He threatened to pull his players off the pitch permanently unless the goal was canceled. The referee eventually gave in to the demand and disallowed the goal. For this match, the official rulebook was overruled by a single spectator with enough influence to stall the game. This is the original World Cup prize, the gold-plated Jules Rimet Trophy. Over its 60-year history, it proved to be remarkably difficult to keep track of. In 1966, 4 months before the tournament began in London, a thief unscrewed the back of a display cabinet and walked out with the trophy. A week later, a dog named Pickles, pictured here with his commendation medal, discovered the trophy wrapped in newspaper under a garden hedge while out for a walk. The luck didn't last. In 1983, the trophy was stolen again in Brazil. It was never recovered, and investigators believe it was melted down into gold bars and sold. The loss was so complete that for a time, the only version of the trophy available was a secret replica that had been stored in a box under a police officer's bed. Losing the sport's most valuable physical prize twice highlights the lack of basic security and oversight that persisted through the tournament's formative years. Today, the most valuable assets in soccer are no longer physical trophies, but digital licensing rights. This chart compares EA Sports' $1.6 billion revenue from its game modes against the $300 million annual fee FIFA recently demanded for the use of its acronym. EA calculated that their proprietary game modes were the actual source of their revenue, not the name on the box. They walked away from the negotiation, keeping their $1.6 billion in annual earnings while dropping the FIFA brand. By setting a price tag that exceeded the perceived value of their brand, FIFA ended a 30-year partnership that had become a cornerstone of their digital income. This is the FIFA Congress. While it oversees an operation with $4 billion in cash reserves, it is legally registered as a non-profit association under Swiss law. To maintain these reserves, FIFA utilizes a legal requirement often called a tax bubble. They mandate that host nations waive all federal taxes on World Cup revenues before a single game is played. During the 2014 tournament, this exemption cost the Brazilian government an estimated $530 million in lost tax revenue. This status allows the organization to move massive amounts of wealth from host countries directly into their tax-exempt accounts in Zurich. FIFA began in 1904 as a small committee in Paris. Today, it operates as a multi-billion-dollar nonprofit with the power to mandate its own tax-free zones within sovereign nations.
Welcome to Byte Tunes. To know more amazing things, please subscribe this channel.